Paul Snape, how the hell are you?
Oh, fantastic right now.
It's
Beautiful.
good to see you, buddy.
Great to
Hey,
see you,
thanks
man.
for spending a few minutes. I really appreciate it. But I want to welcome everybody to the 2021 Flint City Bucks Hall of Fame introduction show. My name is Dan Duggan. I'm the chairman of the club. And today I'm joined by Bucks Hall of Famer and legend Paul Snape to help introduce today's honorees. Paul, you're doing well. You've survived COVID and you're ready to get back at soccer this summer?
Yeah, COVID came at me over Christmas, but just like a buck, I just batted it away and got on to the next step. So I'm feeling great right now, ready for a summer of soccer.
Excellent. We're looking forward to seeing you at some Bucks games as well as our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. For those that are new to the Bucks' storied history, the Bucks began in 1995 and played their first season in 1996 in the United Soccer Leagues. Same year the Major League started up in the U.S. Our goal was always to provide a place for the top high school and college players to be showcased for MLS teams around the country. After the first 24 seasons with the Bucks, 93 players have been selected or signed by Major League Soccer teams, and over 200 former Bucks players have signed professional contracts here or abroad. So we're happy to report that our experimental 25 years has worked so far. Along the way, the Bucks have become the most successful minor league team in U.S. soccer history, and our accomplishments in USL League Two, as well as U.S. Open Cup and Hank Steinbrecher National Championship, has been unprecedented. In the first 24 seasons, the Bucks have won 5 USL 2 regular season championships, 4 USL North American championships, and 3 consecutive USASA Hank Steinbrecher Cup national titles. And Paul, that's 12 national championships in 24 years, a feat that we probably never thought we'd see and something that we know will never be matched.
Absolutely incredible. Maybe the Patriots can do something like that, but certainly nobody else in USL, PDL can come anywhere close to what we've accomplished.
Yeah, it's been an excellent run, and we're just getting warmed up. But if you throw in the fact that the Bucks hold over 20 USL 2 records, we've made the playoffs in 21 of 24 seasons, and we're the only amateur team on the planet that have defeated 2 MLS clubs in US Open Cup play. You have the best group of U23 age players year after year. And Paul, you certainly have had a lot to do with the winning in the early years, especially that huge upset of the New England Revolution at Foxborough Stadium that shocked the soccer world back in 2000.
That game will walk by far top 3 of my life. Even though some commentator didn't say I was playing in that game, he's like, "Where is Paul Snape?" But without doubt, that was incredible. We had Joe Malaquino, legend, put a great game plan together. We defended as a unit. We got forward, and then that goal, that Sugar Bear Chad Shoemaker score, will put us down in history. And incredible. And looking back, it wasn't a surprise because we actually went into every game thinking we were going to beat anybody. You could put Real Madrid, whether we would have won or not, different, but we actually had the mentality that we would beat anybody. And that all comes from the top, the culture, from the owners, and certainly the manager and the players at the time just bought into everything. We were totally committed.
Yeah, and not only that, but that national broadcast from the New England team, they actually not only dogged you for being not out there doing your job, but they did keep talking about your nickname, Snape Doggy Dog. And he did finally get to say that you did get the assist on the game-winning goal in the 90th minute. So that was kind of special.
Yeah.
But hey, enough of the team's history. Let's talk about the people who made it all possible. And before we introduce today's Hall of Fame class, let's take a quick walk down memory lane and introduce the first 12 members already inducted. There were 4 classes. The first class was in 2003, and we had 2 players. That was yourself, Paul, and Tino Cecluna. So, you know, I know you don't want to talk a lot about yourself, but let me go back and pull up an old picture of you here to share with the group. Snapey, you played 9 seasons with the Bucks. You finished your final season in 2005, where you took over as an assistant coach before moving on to join Steve Burns as his assistant on the Michigan men's soccer team. From there, you took over the reins as the head coach of Butler in 2011, and you've led the Bulldogs for the past decade, and you've produced all kinds of great players, professional players, and you've been the pride of the Big East as far as I'm concerned. So talk a little bit about your time with the Bucks and what you're doing with Butler nowadays.
Well, first time I got to play for the Bucks, 1997. Actually, Detroit Dynamite didn't want me, and Gary Parsons said, "You know what? You're going to go and play for the Bucks. They're a damn good team." So I went up there, and football's my life. But then that summer, I love playing for Oakland. But then that summer, I actually become the family I was looking for. I left my family in England and I become a part of the Bucks family. And I played 1997. Had the most, me and Davey Hall, we were the young boys. We were Joe Malaquino, Tim Richie, who was it? Malai up there as well, Scott Wagger, these guys, Tree Rollins. They took us under and we played. It wasn't about just playing for ourselves. It was playing for this incredible family, football, soccer. And had some great memories. At one time, I might have been the assist leader. That's because I probably didn't score as much as I should have done. But I won championships, and most importantly, it was about more than just me. It was about playing for one another, and I had a lot of fun. Actually, it's probably the most enjoyable, some of the most joyful football, soccer I've ever had in my life. So the Bucks is really important to me. When I've been at Michigan as an assistant, and then when I come to Butler, I tell all my players about this incredible experience. And I truly believe that this Bucks can help develop not just good players, any player, but those guys who really want to go to the next level, MLS, USL, they need to go into an environment. And the Bucks has been the best environment for the last 25 years. And it's proven. It's not just me saying it. It's proven with victories, with stats, with players playing in the pros. So incredible experience, and it's I look forward to another 25 years.
Yeah, that's great. And for the record, Paul, you are still the number 4 leading scorer in USL2 history, behind that guy called Thomas Boltnar from Des Moines, who played almost as long as you did.
Is he still playing?
He's not still playing. And you know, the other 2 ahead of you are that guy called Bonaventure Marudi and the all-time leading scorer, another one of your teammates, Kenny Uzegwe, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But you did have another gentleman who played with you back in those days, who was inducted alongside you in that first class, and that was Tino Cecluna. And let me just grab a quick photo of Tino up here to remind everybody. Where are you, guy? There he is. It's a little photo, but Tino was a little guy. Are you seeing that?
Yeah. It is a little guy, a little photo.
Hey,
this guy.
You know, he played for the Bucks in the early years, and he's one of the 3 Cecluna brothers who helped build the legacy of the Bucks franchise nationwide. After a brief pro career, Tino and his brothers started Waza FC Youth Club, and since has branched off to from Waza, and he's a partner with the Nationals, which is another great club that he's working with now. Tino's small in stature, but he's one of the toughest players you've ever seen. I know there were days you didn't like playing against him, even in practice. I've heard about that enough.
Tino the Terminator. I'm telling you, I met him in 1997. He was actually playing as a winger, scored a goal in my first game against Kalamazoo. And the energy, the passion, I've never seen anything like it. Even to this day, I don't think anybody I've ever seen as much passion, energy, and talk about courage with a capital C. When we went through that great championship run in 2000, we had the smallest back line in the history with Tino, Davey Hall, and God rest his soul, Adam Heineman, the toughest 3 guys, the best 3 guys that year. But Tino, he just exudes dedication as a player, but as a coach, I've been fortunate to class him as a friend. That guy gives everything, and he has this amazing ability to improve everybody, get the best out of them. And he's a true soccer icon, in my opinion. As a player, loved him, and as a coach, he's phenomenal. And as I say, I'm blessed to call him my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we go to the next class that we inducted in 2007 up in Saginaw, which featured three Bucks Hall of Famers: Jim Duggan, Benji Jukang, and Steve Burns. Let's start with Jim. I know him quite well as my brother and partner. He was a co-founder and managing partner of the Bucks from 1996 to 2005. Jim was chairman of the PDL Executive Committee from 1997 until 2005 as well, and he was a 2-time PDL Executive of the Year. Jim was also inducted in the USL Hall of Fame in 2005 and the Michigan Soccer Hall of Fame in 2018. And Jim's really the one that was responsible for getting together with Gary Parsons to bring you up to the Bucks from the beginning.
Jim's got so many roles he's done, but the best thing he can ever do is he can close anybody a contract in a bar with a bar napkin. They talk about Messi signing a bar napkin when he was young. Jim was already doing that 15 years earlier with us Bucks. He's He's very intelligent. He's very passionate. He always remembers things. He can remember anything about soccer. He's coached before, but I think the greatest asset he can step back and he can see things, and he has that quiet word, whether it's just before a game or maybe 3 o'clock around a bonfire. But I tell you about passion, tell you about being able to do the little things. That's Jim. And yeah, we had an amazing owner, but Jim was the guy that just on a daily basis was doing the gritty work as well. And so a lot of this success for the Bucks is down to Jim. And I just saw him a few weeks ago. He's a true friend, and he loves this game. He loves the Bucks as much as anything. And I'm blessed once again to be a good friend of his.
Yeah, there you go. Next guy was Benji Juking. Now, I nicknamed this guy the Smiling Assassin because he was the nicest, happiest gentleman off the field. But when he stepped between the lines, you didn't want to go anywhere near him.
No.
He came to us from Cameroon via Lindsey Wilson College and was one of the first in a long line of players that Ray Wells sent to the Bucks over that first decade. What are your memories of Benji as a teammate for the 4 seasons you guys played together with the Bucks?
He's incredible. Like he said, he did 500 abs a day. I think he did 5,000 abs. He had an 8-pack. Tell you what, he looked like he was chiseled. And when he went on the field, the smile just he turned into that assassin. He played on the left side, and he was an incredible leader out there. But I don't even think I saw him pass the ball with his left foot for 4 years. He had this incredible ability to bend the ball with the outside of his foot, the banana pass, as we would say. And he was absolute phenomenal. Off the field, while he might not have partied, drunk as much as other people, he was always there. He was the life and soul of those Bucks teams. And I know he's still around doing incredible things. Very smart, very respectful, man full of integrity. What an honor it is to have played with that legend.
Absolutely. And you know this guy right here, Steve Burns. Burnsy was the Bucks' original head coach, and he led the team to a PDL Final Four in each of his first 2 seasons, something that is an incredible feat in itself. He started the Bucks' run of upsets in pro teams in the U.S. Open Cup and nearly pulled off the first upset when the Bucks lost to the MLS Tampa Bay Mutiny 2-1 in that Open Cup game with Carlos Valderrama, which I know you remember well. He accepted the job as a head coach at the University of Michigan men's soccer team in 2000 when the school went from club soccer to D1 program. And in 2010, with you by his side, he led that team to the NCAA College Cup Final Four, losing in that thriller to Akron.
Steve Burns, whether you call him Blackjack or to me, he was Gov. The guy has given me so much in my professional career, but he's also a dear friend. As a coach, he was really good at motivating. He had these quirky things that were just outside of the box to get you going, but he knew how to put teams together that won. He got some championship for the Bucks. He took us to the pinnacle. We nearly won a championship there. Then he left to his alma mater. He created an incredible program. If you look at the word grit in the dictionary, it should say Steve Burns next to it. That guy is a workaholic. He loves soccer, and he will always forever be the governor to me and a Buckster. And by the way, I think he dressed up as a Buckster one famous night in Saginaw. I don't know if we got footage of that, but that was incredible.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Okay, then we go to our third Hall of Fame class in 2011, which consisted of Tim Richie, Kelly Dube, and Dan Fitzgerald, guys that you know real well. Tim Richie, he played in the inaugural 2 seasons of 96 and 97 and was a pro playing for Tulsa before he came back home to Michigan. His legacy really contains a couple important footnotes. As a solid defender, we didn't call on Tim to score much, but he did score the game-winning shootout goal in 1996 to send us to Cocoa Beach in the national finals in our very first year. After the Bucks, he went on to build one of the largest youth soccer programs in the country in Detroit, where he worked for Think Detroit, which later became known as PAL, which you know it today. And they grew the program to over 2,500 boys and girls playing organized soccer all throughout the city. But his lasting claim to fame, Paul, is that he is the one that nicknamed you Paul Snape Doggy Dog, a name that you became nationally known for and you're still tagged with today. Your thoughts on Tim?
Oh, Tim. Oh, where can I start with Tim? It was up in I don't know if you know a place called Beulah. We were up there at Crystal Lake, and we were actually on the Bucks vacation there, bonding weekend, and Tim Richie with Tree and Scott Wagger, and they were all singing. And then he said about early mornings, hey, Snake, doggy dog. And it just stuck with me for the rest of my life. So I owe that to Tim, but I also he was a really good player. Wise. He didn't run anytime he didn't need to, but when he ran and when he tackled like a linebacker. He was ferocious. But I think the biggest legacy he's done of what he's done in inner city Detroit, incredible what he did with Think Detroit and the Detroit Power. And so, yeah, being a player is great and identity, but Tim's gone beyond that, and he's given so much back to the Bucks community down there in Detroit.
Yeah, he really has. And then, of course, Kelly Dube was another Lindsey Wilson College product from Zimbabwe who was steered our way by Benji as an assistant coach down with Ray Wells at Lindsey in 2005. He was one of the most prolific offenses the Bucks have ever seen, maybe the league has ever seen, and led the team to back-to-back North American championship title matches in Laredo in 2006, 2007, bringing home that title in 2006. And barring an injury that kept him out of that championship game in 2007, I suspect we would have been back-to-back champions. He was drafted by the New England Revolution in 2008, played for the Revs and the Chicago Fire in MLS before heading home. And Snapey, this will not surprise you at all, but Kelly is still playing professionally in the Premier League in Zimbabwe at age 38. No surprise here.
Absolutely not. I had the real privilege to coach him when I was the head coach of the Bucks in 2005. And he was a consummate professional at that time, even though we were amateur, still in college. By that, I mean, he was so dedicated. After every training session, before every game, after every game, he was doing everything he could. So it's no surprise that, yeah, he scored goals. I was lucky. I thought he was a wonderful forward. But then he got better the year after for 2006. Then he got better. Then he got better for Revolution. And I still see him on Facebook. I'm his friend. And he's still playing. And then he's got those genes like Ryan Giggs or Tom Brady, where the guy probably is going to play to 50. But biggest of all, he loves the game. And what a player he was.
Yep, a true gentleman.
Oh.
And this next gentleman, the last of this class, Dan Fitzgerald. Danny was an assistant for the Bucks from 2002 to 2005, and then again from 2010 to 2013 under Gary Parsons. He took over as head coach from 2006 to 2009 and led the team to those back-to-back national finals, and also led the team to the USL2 regular season championship in 2008 as well. Danny had a great eye for talent, and his ability to uncover the hidden gems in soccer really helped us to build our teams over the decade as he scouted players from us all over the country. And I know he's a good friend of yours, and he was a great coach.
Yeah, Fishy. What can I say about him? I say he's a savant-like coach. He could see matchups. He could see tactical solutions before most people. He did his apprenticeship with the Bucks. He didn't do it. He wasn't trying to make a career from like the money, whatever. He did it because he just loved the game. But his advice and input was critical to winning championships. And then I had the pleasure of working alongside of him. He was coach, but then he took him to the national championship. But Fishy, wonderful human being, great soccer mind, and always laughing. When you're down, you just call Fishy. You'd be in stitches within the first 30 seconds. Love that guy.
Yep, great. And then we went to our last class, 2015. We did the last class before today's, which we're going to get to in just a moment here. But let's introduce these guys. First, there was Jumpin' Joe Malaquino. Joe came to us. Jim signed him from the Detroit Rockers indoor team, where he played 3 years with the Bucks from 66 to 1996 to 99, and then played 2 more years as player coach in 2000, 2001, which were those great U.S. Open Cup runs. We became nationally known. We won the USL2 regular season title in 2000, our first of 12 national championships we hold today, and the team to the national championship match, which you'll remember we did lose 1-0, unfortunately, at sold out crowd at White Pine and Saginaw. Earlier that year, he led the team to the upset of the Revolution in the Open Cup, and then scored one of the greatest goals in U.S. Open Cup history in the next round against the Miami Fusion of Major League Soccer, in a game that the Bucks won in overtime before all of a sudden we didn't, but we won't go there today. Joe's been the assistant coach for the women's team at Eastern Michigan since 2006. Just a wonderful young guy, and he's still giving back to the soccer community today.
Jumpin' Joe Malaquino. Rumor has it Andre Pirlo modeled his game on Joe. Joe's smooth. He just glides around. I don't think I saw him lose the ball more than 2 times in his whole career. I think the second one was because he wanted to kick it so he could tackle someone. Absolutely loved him as a player, as a teammate. But as a coach, he just got the best out of us for those couple of years. And we went on that monumental run. Joe just knew how to manage that team. Absolutely loved him, playing for him, kept in touch, great soccer mind, great family man. But those memories in 2000, whether it was up at Gillette Stadium up there, Foxborough, or coming down to Miami, I was supposed to take that free kick. Joe says, you take it. So I was all ready to bend it in the top corner against Cassar, who's a great keeper. And then Joe runs up with the outside of the foot. And I was stunned that he took it off me. And then when it went in the top corner, he kind of smirked, and we just jumped with the 5,000 people. So jumping Joe Malaquino has a real spot in my heart. Love that guy.
Absolutely. And you know this guy well. Steve Clark, another one of Gary Parsons' Oakland legacies. He played for 4 years for the Bucks from 2006 to 2009 while he was at Oakland. He backstocked the team to the 2006 National Championship. He shut out Laredo in 2007 in the championship, but lost on PKs. He's gone on to play professionally the past 13 years from Norway to Denmark to Major League Soccer, where he's currently playing for the Portland Timbers. There's not enough time to tell Steve Clark stories. I'd like to, but if I were going to war, I think I'd choose Steve to lead my team out the front door. I imagine you don't disagree with that.
I'd have Steve and Tino right behind him. I remember Steve, I coached Vardar back in 2003, and Steve was one of the goalkeepers, and he was a good goalkeeper then. He fancied himself on the field, so I don't know if he still thinks he's a striker. He wasn't that great as a striker, but watched him. And then I saw his evolution, his development over when he got to Oakland, and he turned out from a good goalkeeper to a really good goalkeeper, top-notch keeper, played for the Bucks, and then he just went to another level. And I think the word I'd use for Steve is resilience. That guy is mentally strong. When you look at those, the guy's got the mental strength of an elite athlete. And what he's accomplished is incredible. And I'm so happy for him. I got to coach against him when we were at Michigan. I was at Michigan, he was Oakland, and he was one of the hardest shot stoppers, goalkeepers to beat that I've seen in 18 years. So everything Steve has earned, he's deserved, and let's keep rooting for him. But what a goalkeeper.
Absolutely. And this guy you know well, Kenny Uzegwe, he played for the Bucks from 2005 to 2013. He'd probably still be playing if I let him today. He became the USL2 all-time leading scorer. He finished with 94 goals, which is absolutely incredible. It's a record that'll never be broken. He was part of our championship teams in 2006, 2008, and 2012, and he's one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen. Kenny had a brief pro career, getting an opportunity with Colorado in Major League Soccer and Charleston in the United Soccer Leagues, but eventually moved back home to Michigan to coach youth soccer in the Detroit, Pontiac, and Flint areas. What is there to say about Kenny?
Kenny. I actually didn't get to ever play with Kenny, and that's one of my biggest regrets in my life. I played with some incredible players, but Kenny has to go right up there. Played against him for years, smooth, smiling, and then before you know it, he's just knocked in 3 goals against your team. The guy is the epitome of like playing for joy, and he was so good. Never, not one person from the Bucks, Toledo, to those down there, and it was in El Paso, Laredo. They still love Kenny down there, I believe. He brings joy and passion to this whole the world. But what a player! I would love to have played with him even for 10 minutes because that guy was incredible. But I'm glad he's given back. I think his true calling in life is giving back as a coach. But so happy he came to the Bucks. What a player!
Yeah. And this guy, again, this is our last guy before we get to our new class, and all our new classes sitting in the waiting room, waiting just minutes away. But let's talk about Gary Parsons. The Gaffer's the man that recruited you, Paul, from Liverpool to come and play at Oakland University and brought you to America and with the Bucks, and it's led to your coaching career opportunities at Michigan and Butler. I know you have a special place in your heart for this guy who's done nothing but help the Bucks win year after year. He's the architect of all of our championship teams. He continues to amaze me with the talent that he brings in, not only to the field, but as the coaching staff as well. He's had a hand in all 12 of the Bucks national championships, and he won the USL2 Coach of the Year in back-to-back seasons, including 2012, when he led the team to that monumental upset of the Chicago Fire in the US Open Cup. We don't have time to talk about all the great things about Gary, but I need you to say something about the man.
If you haven't been yelled at by Gary Parsons, you haven't played in a championship team, whether it's been at Oakland or the Bucks. I owe so much of my current life, professionally, personally, to that guy. What a man. I left England to come and play for Gary and Steve Sargent. They've been so influential in my life. The fact that I'm even Division I coach can be put down to Gary, his leadership, his support. He's a tough guy to play for, but he's so honest. and he gives you absolutely everything. So Gary is a legend, and I don't use that lightly, but that guy, he knows tactics, of course he does, and he knows how to put teams together, but most important, he knows how to get the best out of people. So he's the gaffer, and I'm so happy that he's come together. He allowed me to come here and be a part of the Bucks in Oakland, and I'll be forever grateful for that guy.
All right, that brings us to our inductions of our 4 members going into the 2021 class, the Bucks Hall of Fame. And all 4 of these guys are near and dear to your heart, which is another reason why I wanted you here today. So the first guy, let me go to my little room here and let's let him in. Let's admit this gentleman. And our first 2021 inductee is none other than Zack Steinberger. He sat so long, he fell off his couch. Zach, come in. We'll get him there in just a second here. Now, this guy, you told me all about him when he first came out here. Matter of fact, he was one of the first guys you had at Butler, and you said, you're going to love this guy, Double D. But he spent 3 years with the Bucks from 2012 to 2014, winning national titles in 2 of those 3 years. When you sent this guy to us, you said that he's one of the best young prospects you've ever seen. He was a mix of a German-based player with a San Diego mentality. And I wasn't sure what the hell that meant. I knew we were probably getting a really good player who was kind of a goofball. And man, this guy is something special. He was drafted by the Houston Dynamo in Major League Soccer, played 2 seasons there in Houston, and then moved around the USL circuit before settling now where he is in Tampa the last 3 seasons, playing for the Tampa Bay Rowdies of the USL Championship. Paul, you know this young man. When he was a young pro prospect, you were spot on with him, and he absolutely has become one of my favorite Bucks of all time.
Zach, a good friend of mine says, you might like this kid. I'm like, oh, okay, give me some bio. He said, hey, American kid, blah, blah, blah. He's been over in Germany, coming back. I called him up and said, Zach, I heard you're good. Thinking I was going to get this real professional guy who's going to be, yeah, I've been working out. He goes, yeah, I'm on the beach right now. What can I do for you, coach? I'm like, what's this guy? Anyway, cut a long story short, bring him to Butler. What a player. He had 4 years with us. Technical to the nth degree, balance, fit, soccer mind, just close, just outstanding. You can see things, play numerous positions apart from a center back. He's no good there, but he was tough. He gives everything. And so we were blessed to have him. Why we might not have won championships at Butler, because we were in the form of rebuilding. We knew he was going to be something for the Bucks, and he went up to the Bucks and he took it to another level. But most important, he's about family, he's about people, and he is one of the most happiest, most energetic persons you've ever met. And we love him here at Butler. We love him at the Bucks. And this is our really good friend, Zack Steinberger.
Zach, unmute yourself. I know you've got a team meal in 10 minutes and you got to run down because you got a game tonight. But thanks for taking the time, and thank you for the time you've shared with the Bucks and with my family. We're proud to call you a friend and enjoying to watch your professional career.
Oh, well, I mean, first and foremost, Snapey, it's great to see you, man. It's been a while.
I got this there.
I mean, you know me. I mean, I'm like Snapey said it. You know, I'm a big family guy. You know, I found a family here at the Rowdies. You know, and I've only really found families like that a couple other times, and that was at Butler and it was at the Bucks. You know, I absolutely love both of the organizations. Snapey, obviously, you've been a part of both. And you made me feel welcome the day I stepped onto Butler's campus with a suitcase full of tank tops and another one full of pillows. But you know, we made it work. And you know, I can't thank you enough for introducing me to Double D, who, you know, welcomed me in with open arms and showed me a place that I'll always call home. Whether that's Auburn Hills or up at the lake in Beulah. You know, those are some memories that I'll always have, and you know, so grateful that I got to meet both of you and got to take part and contribute in a small way to both the Butler and the Bucks organization. So, you know, obviously the clubs have been great and I've loved playing for them, but getting to meet and to play for both of you has been a privilege on its own.
Thanks, brother. Well, good luck tonight with the game. And I know, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to join us on the July 10th for our ceremony, but your jersey is being framed and will be sent to you. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon, whether I get down there or when you get up here. Okay, buddy?
Awesome. Thank you, Double D. Thank you, Snapey. Appreciate
Thanks, man.
it.
Go and get a win tonight.
All
my
right.
friend.
Thanks.
All
guys.
right. Let's go to our next inductee here. And you're going to know this guy, Snapey. You know them all, but this gentleman here is another fella by the name of Adam Grinwis. There he is. I'm not sure if he's coming to us from Florida or Michigan, but
There he is.
Adam, let me give you a brief introduction before I turn you loose on this. I think I might even have a little bit of a picture here of you somewhere. Oh, you're going to love this one, Adam. One of your favorite days of your life. There he is. Adam joined the Bucks in 2010 when he was still in high school. He played 5 seasons with the Bucks all throughout his college career at Michigan, and he was the Bucks North American USL2 title match MVP, which you're seeing right here, his award. Incredible. He was also USL2 Rookie of the Year in 2012, and he also recorded the win. He was in goal against the Chicago Fire in that Open Cup epic victory. He went on to play professionally in the USL for Rochester and St. Louis before he signed with Orlando City SC of Major League Soccer, where he's currently rehabbing now. The West Michigan native and University of Michigan grad is engaged to be married this December. So this is a very big year for Adam. Paul, before we turn it over to him, give me your thoughts on Grinny's career with Bucks and professionally.
Oh, I remember Grimwis when he was like a scrawny kid. He was like in sophomore. He was about 5'5", 115 pounds. And this guy called Jake Stacy said, "This is the real deal." I look over, I'm like, what? This guy, he's like knee height to a grasshopper. So we kept looking at him. When I was at Michigan, I'm like, oh, I told Burns, this guy's supposed to be good. We kept on going out. He goes, he's not that big, but we never saw him get beat. And then he just got better. And then you saw him winning championships, whether it was the high school, whether it was with his club team. And then we were fortunate to bring him into Michigan in 2010. And he was with us. We had a great run. But then I left in 11. And one of my regrets is never to be able to see him. I would love to have kept coaching him. But what I was so proud of him, how he did for Michigan, but how he did for the Bucks. And it was no surprise when he went and got all these MVPs and when he become a pro. Not only is he a great stopper, athletic, he has the real mentality of goalkeeper. He's fearless and he always wants to get better and learn. So for me, he's one of the best goalkeepers I've seen in college, and he's a top pro. So I'm so happy I got to know him, and what a player, what a goalkeeper, what a kid as well.
Adam, unmute yourself, please.
Unbelievable, Paul Snape. It's so good to see you, and thank you for this. It's such an honor.
Oh, great, man. It's so good to see you. And I know that hopefully you'll be healthy and playing down with Orlando MLS in July. But if your rehab is still, not where it needs to be, we'd love to see you up at right behind me here at Kettering University at Atwood Stadium, where we're going to honor all 4 of you guys on July 10th.
I appreciate it, guys. Such an honor. Absolutely loved the summers I was able to spend with the Bucks. Such a top club and such top people running it, coaching it, playing for it. It's just such an honor, and to be inducted into this is something I'll never forget, something me and my family take very seriously and are super proud of. So thank you, guys.
Thanks, Adam. Great to see you. You take care of yourself. We'll be in touch.
Take care, guys. Great to see you.
Pleasure, my friend.
All right, Paul Snape, number 3 of 4 going into the Bucks 2021 class Hall of Fame is another good friend of yours, Mr. Stuart Givens.
Yes.
Stu, how are you, Stu?
Hello, guys.
Good. Let me do a little introduction and see if I can find an old picture just to make you feel young again, because I know how much you love that. One of your favorite places at Ultimate Soccer Arenas. You remember those days. Stu played for the Bucks. I played for a team in 2005 to 2007. We actually had a reserve team, but he played for the first team in 2009 to 2015 while he was a grad assistant after he graduated from Oakland. Another Gary Parsons, Oakland University product. In 2011, he was named USL2 All-11 and the USL2 Defender of the Year. His long throw-ins were a staple to our attack, and he was our designated PK taker. And if my memory serves me right, Stu, I don't think you ever missed. I think you were like 6 for 6 or 7 for 7. But he's been coaching since 2012 with both the Oakland men's and then the women's side. He's assistant coach at Central Michigan, and he was recently promoted to the associate head coach at the University of Texas El Paso women's team, where he has spent the last 3 years with his lovely wife living down there. And Stu, I can't tell you how happy it is for us to be able to share this time and to see you. And before I turn it over to you, Snapey, give me a couple words on your good friend, Stu Givens.
I remember he was really young because I've known his dad for, oh God, since I come here 20 odd years. So he's only a wee little whippersnapper. All around the game, him and his brother, I've known him, seen him come up. When you talk about someone dedicated, Stu wasn't given anything. He wasn't the flashiest forward I've ever seen or there. He was grinding it out. But what he's done in his career, everywhere he's gone, he's had huge success. Every team has a Stu Givens if you want to win championships. And I'm so delighted for him for what he's done, what the Bucks, but also what he's doing with his career. And I was lucky enough to see him firsthand play against him when he was at Michigan. I was at Michigan, he was Oakland, and those long throw-ins. But he was one of the toughest defenders, and he got better. Not many people get better after college. I actually think Stu got better and better, and he could have easily played pro USL championship. But he decides, I think the college community is getting an unbelievable coach, and it wouldn't be surprised in the next 5 to 10 years he's going to win national championships in Division I because he's a brilliant mind. Most important, hardest working guy out there. Nobody's going to outwork Stu.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate that very much, and appreciate the honor of going into the Bucks Hall of Fame. The Bucks mean a whole lot to me in my career as a player, and then later on hanging around all the coaches, owners, and just being involved in an organization that does things the right way is helped frame my mentality of all the places that I've gone and how we try and do things. So it definitely means a lot to me, and really appreciate it, Dan, and the entire Bucks organization.
Well, thanks, buddy. And I understand we're going to have the pleasure of you and your wife coming up on July 10th for the induction ceremony.
Yes. Yeah. So we're excited. We're excited to get home, see family, see friends, and see a Bucks game in person. It's been a while now. So, we've appreciated the YouTube links and the streams, but it'll be nice to be, in Flint and enjoy this in person with everyone there.
Well, we look forward to it, my friend. Congratulations. Thanks for all the years that you and your family, not only your brother, but your dad, your mom, dad, everybody has followed us and supported us all the way. We enjoyed being at your wedding at the Canadian Lakes a few years back. It's just, you're part of the Bucks family, and Gary and I are very proud to voted you in to induct you into this year's class of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Looking forward to July and seeing everyone in person again.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye, guys.
All right, Snapey, we're down to our last inductee, and this guy is very near and dear to your heart because he's one of your very best friends in the world, and the whole city of Flint will be really happy to see this one if they haven't already figured it out. Here he comes. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that our last Hall of Fame inductee might be the best Hall of Fame inductee we've ever had, and that is head coach Damir Muftari. Damir, how are you?
His wife has to do it. He doesn't know technology.
No, I just want to, before he starts talking, unmute yourself for a minute. I'm going to tell a story about you, and then so is Snapey. I want to make sure your audio good.
The Zoom stuff is difficult for me.
I hear you. Okay, you just sit there for a minute while we talk about you, okay? And then we'll give you a chance for rebuttal. But I think this is really important for everybody to know. And I'm going to, while I do this, I'm going to put up one of my all-time favorite pictures. It was such a favorite picture that I sent it to the family for Christmas, and I hope that they have a special place for this. But Paul, I know Damir is one of your best friends in the world, but this is not why we're here today. Let me just give you a few facts of the coaching career of Damir Muftari between 2012 and 2019 with the Bucks. Coming off a national championship from Vardar with the U19 Academy, he came to the Bucks as an assistant Gary Parsons in 2012. In that first year, the Bucks won the USL 2 regular season national championship. Gary and I promoted, not demoted. Sometimes he thought that, but we promoted him to the head coach in 2013. Listen to this run. 2014, the Bucks win the USL2 North American National Championship. 2015, the Bucks win the USL2 regular season national championship. 2016, they win the double, the USL2 regular season championship and the 2016 North American National Championship. 2017, the USASA Hank Steinbrecher Cup National Championship. 2018, he steps down to pass the reins to Paul Thomas and works as an assistant. We still win the USASA Hank Steinbrecher Cup National Championship. And let me pause it there to come to October 30th of 2018. On that date, Demir, you'll remember we had a press conference up in Flint where I met with the mayor, the Chamber of Commerce, and everybody in Flint, and we announced that the Bucks were moving to Flint, which is a huge decision for me and the team, but it was something that I was really convinced when I went up there needed to be done. Because we moved to Flint, Paul Thomas wasn't able to carry on his stuff with his family and his other work. And so after that press conference, the mayor pulled me aside and said, the city of Flint really needs a winner here. We're counting on you guys. So without putting any pressure on me, I went right back to Parsons and said, we got to get Demir. And so Gary said, leave it with me. He called you and Demir said, I really enjoyed the last year off. I'm enjoying time with my family. And so I called Demir and said, hey, I need a favor. Let's have a beer. And he knew that when I was driving from Cleveland to have a beer with him, it wasn't just because I was thirsty. He said, you know what? When I told him, I said, this is important to the city. And Demir said, I'll do it. Not only did he do it with a little pressure on his back, but in May, he comes up and he wins the third consecutive Hank Steinbrecher National Championship. Unbelievable. He took the pressure off. We delivered to the mayor that national championship. But then that's when the fun began. We had 5 MLS prospects on that roster, and by June 1st, they were all injured and out for the season. When we went to Des Moines to play the undefeated champions, the regular season champions in the playoff game, we were only able to take 15 players with us. Somehow we came out of there and we won those 2 games in Des Moines. We won the the semifinal. And we hosted that game in August of 2019 in front of over 7,000 fans. What you're looking behind me was the national anthem with that team lined up with players that I don't even know who they are. And Demir, I'm not sure you knew who they were, but somehow in front of those 7,000 Flintstones, you brought home one of the most exciting victories in a national championship. Quite frankly, the city's still celebrating. So I don't know what else to say, but thank you. And Paul, I wanted you to be able to say a few words about this guy because I know you guys have known each other for a long, long time.
Yeah, we know a little bit about each other as well. We've had some good times and we've had some great times and phenomenal times. So as a person, I think he's one of my best friends. He's phenomenal. If you know him, he does everything for you, asks for nothing. True family man. If you put that aside, if you just look at the coach, he's come from nothing. He loved the game, but he's done everything himself from a coach. He's learned it. He's an incredible person who can observe things. He's got a ton of emotional intelligence, strategy wise. Not only is he gifted, he's always looking for new solutions and everything. And I think when you look at his record from whether it's Vardar, Kimball, boys, girls, to the Bucks, he's a pure winner. I wouldn't even say a natural winner. He's a consistent, phenomenal winner. And I'm so happy because there were times I used to go and play for the Bucks. I'd know Demir would go out and I'd tell him how good the Bucks was. He wasn't a player then, but then what he's done as a coach has taken the Bucks to another level. And he doesn't know this, but every time I speak to him, I learn so much from him. All the times I bounce things off him. Hopefully we have so much respect. But when I send my players up to Demir, I know they're getting coached the best in the country. And as I say, the guy could go and coach MLS. He can go to national teams. There's no level he couldn't coach. And of all my time, I don't think there's more than 1 or 2 people I can put in the same category as Demir who can coach everybody. So professionally, he's up there with the greatest of all time I've ever met. Professionally, he's even better than that. He is truly 1 in a billion. We love him to death, and I'm so happy he's a part. He's an icon, a legend for the Bucks.
I mean, if you took his resume of what he's done with kids 19 to 23, and you compared what he has done in the last 10 years, he's up there with the likes of the Jerry Yeagley's and the top college coaches in the country. If this was a college team, this guy would be in the National College Hall of Fame. He's a well-kept secret. He doesn't deserve to be, but he's very loyal to all of us that he works with, to his family. He loves the Detroit community, all the way up through Flint and Michigan, everywhere that we've gone with the Bucks. And Demir, when Jim and I started this team 26 years ago, you're the kind of person that we envisioned it. You and the 15 people we've honored here today as the 16 members of the Bucks Hall of Fame. When we drew this up in the bar and said, what do we want? We want to offer kids opportunity to go pro. We want to offer coaches an opportunity to go pro. I could have never dreamed that it would be where it is today. And a lot of that is because of you and the 15 members just like you. So I want to thank you, my friend. And I want to give you a couple minutes to, I know you won't refute anything we said because it's all true, but you're a humble man.
I don't know. Thank you. You guys put a really nice spin on things, and those are really nice things to hear. And obviously I think the world of you guys, and the fact that Snapey's on here doing this with me too makes it even more special. You guys are like family, so I know it sounds cliche and it's weird, but you guys are awesome. And I loved it, right? All the years with the Bucks, I loved it. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Gary. Costa, we made the move up to Flint. It was a great move and a needed one for the community and for the club, and a lot of history with a lot of phenomenal players and coaches with the Bucks. So it's honestly really humbling to be part of it. I loved my time there, and just like anything, just like the teams that had success, we needed a lot of good players, a lot of good infrastructure, and the organization wins from top to bottom. Even I couldn't have done it. I had guys like Nick O'Shea and Paul Thomas and Zathy and Ryko and Wagstaff, and I mean, phenomenal coaches. I think one of the things I'll try to give myself some credit for is I probably put really smart guys around me to help me try to do okay. But I'm always learning. I'm humbled. I love the game. I love the club. Bucks through and through, always. And no, just really humbled, really honored. Thanks. Obviously, my family sacrifices a lot in this because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of time. I'm incredibly grateful and appreciative of how supportive they are of me taking on these tasks all the time. My parents, my siblings, everybody. The amount of support I get is phenomenal. I wouldn't be able to do the things I do if it weren't for that. And then, of course, the players. The players are great. The organization has so much history and so much, class, and is so well known and respected that, it's great to have the amount of players that come in that are so driven and determined and want to be pros. And, that makes my job, it's tough, but it makes the job enjoyable. And I'm so grateful to all the players that have come through all the years. And thank you all so much. This means a lot.
Well, I appreciate it. And I know that I'm going to look forward to sharing a beer with you on July 10th when we induct you, and your family will be there as well. And hopefully there'll be thousands and thousands of Flintstones that'll be up there cheering. And I know a lot of your friends, the River Rats, are going to be looking forward to serenading you. It'll be a special moment on July 10th. So thanks, gentlemen. We look forward to seeing you all at that game. It's Saturday, July 10th. It's a final regular season game, so there will probably be playoff implications. It's at Kettering University's historic Atwood Stadium, and the Bucks will induct these 4 individuals. So come on out and cheer on the team. And we are still the defending national champions until somebody knocks us off. And so hopefully we can do it again. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks to all of you. Paul, thank you for a wonderful recap. We're gonna produce this, and it'll be a piece of treasure to go in the vault for the first 25 years wrap on the Bucks history. So thanks very much, guys, and go Bucks.
Thanks.
Well,
Good luck, guys. Thank you.